Again, I want to thank all of you for being here. This is just an overwhelming response. And there are at least this many who wanted to attend, but because of the space limitations, we're not able to do so. This is strictly on a first-come, first-served basis. And so all of you early birds are responding, thank you. And there are thousands more who are following this day's activities on the internet, through internet technology that I don't begin to comprehend, but that's what I'm told. And so the summit has successfully achieved my first objective, which is to spotlight this serious problem and to alert all Minnesotans that clean, safe water is nothing we can take for granted. It is something we must insist upon and then take the actions necessary to attain it. Minnesotans treasure their water. There's no better proof of that than the truth that our citizens voted overwhelmingly in 2008 to raise their own state sales tax to fund clean water projects. Our citizens need clean water. They deserve clean water. And they must depend on all of us to do all we can to improve our water quality and then do it to the utmost necessary to achieve it. And to convince our families, friends, and neighbors that they must share and shoulder this responsibility with us. This summit is not about assigning blame. It's about developing solutions. It's about making common cause, all of us together, to work together, to share best ideas and practices. We also need to recognize and pay tribute to the great many Minnesotans who have engaged in clean water practices in their homes, in their businesses, on their farms, and in their communities. In Dakota County, which has been enforcing its own buffer requirements for the last few years, over 95% of property owners are in compliance. In Lincoln County, the long polluted Lake Shawcotton has been restored to its pre-settlement pristinity. Near Wilmer, the 1,400-acre grass lake is being reconstituted to act as a natural filter for a chain of lakes that feed the Crow River. Two Harbors has found a $2 million solution to a $7 million rainwater problem that cleans its water flowing into Lake Superior. On the other end of the spectrum, when the MPCA issued its report on the aquatic, life-killing contamination in all but 3 of 93 rivers and streams in southwestern Minnesota, one local newspaper in its epicenter declined to run a story. The editor stated, quote, "Yeah, it's too bad we can't swim, but we live in an agriculture area, and that's just the way it is." Well, it will remain just the way it is if the prevailing attitude is that of two brothers who farm 6,000 acres outside of town. They say they resent the cities telling farmers what to do. My response is that it shouldn't be necessary for governors or legislators to tell farmers what to do. They know what to do better than anyone else on their own farmlands. We just need for all of them to do it. And that describes the paradox of water quality. Those who are the sources of the problems are also the sources of their solutions. Furthermore, the problems cannot be solved without them. What we need most in Minnesota are not more laws and regulations that try to require or reward clean water practices. They are last resorts. What we really need is to establish an ethic of clean water practices. When Dakota County began to enforce its buffer requirements along the Vermilion River, only 60 of its 160 landowners were not in compliance. A year later, that number was cut in half. Finally, only one landowner had to be issued a citation. The county established an ethic to protect the Vermilion River. Everyone did their part, and everyone could see if someone else was not doing their part. My hope is that by the time all the requirements of last year's buffer law finally take effect in November 2018, enforcement will be almost unnecessary. My hope is that an ethic will have been established by every county commissioner, by every soil and water conservation board member and employee, by every local government official, all of whom can see every day what is happening and what is not happening on the lands around them. And that every time they feel personally responsible for protecting the health of their families and the families who are in their care. Is that hopelessly naive? Maybe so. But it sounds a lot better to me than, quote, that's just the way it is. It's not the Minnesota I want to live in. It's not the Minnesota I want to leave to my children and grandchildren. So I urge you, and I ask you, to spend today establishing our ethic. The clean water practices are every Minnesotan's responsibility. That anything less is unacceptable. And it's achievable if all of us do our part. Thank you. So Molly, you want to is everybody, thank you. Is everybody breaking and stampeding the rooms? All right, well, the doors, all the doors are open because now you're all invited to go to the first breakout session. And again, thank you for being here.